welcome back here to SUVtv. It's that time again. It's a Tuesday night showcase presented by Peach State Basketball. I'm Marcus Burnett, joined by Brandon Clay. Tonight's matchup features Holy Innocents taking on Wesleyan in a matchup of two of the more storied basketball programs here in the state of Georgia. Brandon, pleasure to have you on the mic here as always, Chief.
It's great to be here. This should be a great one. I'm glad to be a part of it, man. Let's get it rocking.
So we've got starting lineups being introduced. We're going to send it to our public address announcer, and when we get back, we'll bring you the tip-off. Tuesday night showcase here, presented by Peach State Basketball.
Number 14, Amaya Reginald. Number 20, Nikki McDonald. Number 21, Jameson Cable. Number 44, Natalie Armstrong. The Wolves are coached by J.M. Azar, assisted by Nicole Dixon, Demetrius Frazier, Andy Free, and Mary Stevenson.
Hey, defend the three-point shot.
And now, the starting lineup. Three open there. Number 3, sophomore guard, Kayla Pointer. Number 11, a junior forward, Erica Cassell. Number 12, a freshman forward, Kayla Howard. Number 13, a junior guard, Sydney Long. And number 32, sophomore guard, Shiona Randy. The Bears are coached by Tony Watkins, assisted by Ann Philheimer, Scott Waldo Florial, and Holy Innocents' own Makisha Marks. Good luck to both teams.
All right, and welcome back here to the beautiful campus here at Holy Innocents Episcopal School, just off of the intersection of 285 and 75 here in the greater Atlanta area. Marcus Burnett joined by Brandon Clay. Brandon, we're about set to tip this thing off.
It'll be interesting to see here. You start talking about the storylines. Can Wesleyan keep Holy Innocents from just running, getting up and down? Holy Innocents likes to get up and down the floor. Saw them play against McEachern there over at Archer during the Crossover Classic. And one of the things that Holy Innocents was able to do during the course of the game to McEachern was literally just wear them down. It just became a numbers game and just a pace game. So Wesleyan will want to be able to try to contain that to the best of their ability. And you see them starting out here in the zone to try to do just that, see if they can rattle them a little bit early.
The Wolves take it away. They'll have it on the offensive end, taking no time to attack there. Shot just off the mark by Booker. Piece is going to be picked up, scored there. Number 44, that's Natalie Armstrong.
Well, I tell you what, actually they got Booker there with that finish. Armstrong got it back to him, and Booker was able to finish it. But to talk about both of those young ladies, I like that when we talk about the pace and what Wesleyan can do. Booker defensively and her offensive ability, as you see her close out there in the zone, should give them a chance to be effective. And then Armstrong as well in the interior.
Effective there on the inside is Kayla Hubbard, scoring to make it a 2-2 ball game.
Well, and just a freshman, you're going to keep an eye on Hubbard. She's one of those kids that I love so much, productive every single time we see her play, whether it be in the summer with Team Elite Pointer Marcus or whether it be here during the high school season, EBA camp. We've seen her in multiple settings already, and she's always good.
2-2 ball game here early on. Speaking of always good, Kayla Pointer with the ball up top now. Brandon, for those that might not be familiar with Kayla Pointer, give them a quick synopsis.
I love it. I was just about to introduce that young lady to you. As you see, long catch the ball there on the wing. Pointer's ability as a 2017 prospect sophomore in high school. To handle and control makes her one of the best players in the country. We'll come back to her in a second. I want to make sure we touch number 11, Erica Cassell, who just finished that basket, a junior who is already committed to North Carolina State. Gives Tony Watkins just an interior presence, as you see right there with the block shot after finishing it on the other end marker. So this Holy Innocents team is littered with prospects who are, ranked, and for good reason. We've got Cassell at number 41 overall, the number 7 forward in the ProspectsNation.com Elite 60.
This is a 4-2 ball game, 2-point advantage for the host Lady Bears. Pointer with it up top. They're looking inside for Cassell. Instead, they get it back up top to Pointer. She'll move it. Here's Hubbard. Pointer decides to attack, fakes the pass, drops it off to Cassell, and Cassell does the rest.
Well, and when Pointer gets into the lane like that, Marcus, it's just hard. We talk about that numbers game, and Wesleyan is missing a player in sophomore, Michaela Coombs, who's out for the year with an ACL injury. One of the best kids in the country per ProspectsNation.com. So, anytime you're fighting that's obviously tough. We've got Pointer at number 15 overall, Coombs at number 19, just to give you a synopsis of how good Coombs is. So Wesleyan's going to have to do it by committee tonight. Otherwise, this could turn into a track meet in terms of the way that Holy Innocents plays.
Pointer with the spin and the dime, finished by Hubbard. Sorry, that's Blanding. That's Blanding with the finish there.
Blanding's another one of 2017 we're very familiar with. Peach State basketball-wise, been to multiple events, was at our EBA Top 40, the inaugural workout last spring. Plans on being there again on March the 8th. It just does a lot of good things. You see her make a play there in the open floor. And anytime that you're playing alongside Pointer, Cassell, Hubbard, it starts to open the floor up, whether you're Sydney Long, number 13, or whether you're Blanding, 32. Those kids get better shots and better opportunities because they're a member of this team.
6-point advantage here for Holy Innocents as Wesleyan gets a well-called timeout. And it was definitely time for it. Definitely want to put a buck in the momentum of the Lady Bears here before it gets too late. 5:31 left to play here in this first quarter.
Well, Wesleyan coach Jan Azar is, a 10-time state champion. So, she knows when to push buttons, when to make timeout calls. You see him get a great shot there for number 20, Nikki McDonald, who's already signed with Elon. And I wouldn't expect anything less from Coach Azar coming out of the break. Had the opportunity to watch this Wesleyan team during the course of the Thanksgiving break over at Parkview. You see Armstrong there affect the shot. And she does such a great job with them, Marcus, of making sure that players are in the right spots.
You see Pointer score there, making it 10-5. Bears get back on defense and knock that one out of bounds.
Well, Wesleyan's got to be smarter in transition than that. Obviously, McDonald was up ahead, but that wasn't going to be a situation where they were able to get her the basketball in a space to be able to make a play. You see the basketball inbounded here now. Booker with the long shot. McDonald with the nice move to foul will go to the line. And they get Sydney Long with that foul. That'll be her first of the afternoon. McDonald with the missile, get a second one. 3-star prospect per ProspectsNation.com. And we'll bring Charlotte Smith and her crew, a versatile forward, capable of making shots, but has the size to be effective on the inside as well, can do a lot of different things.
Lady Bears with the basketball.
Well, and you can hear Coach Watkins imploring his team to swing it. They want to get a ball reversal there, Marcus, meaning from one side to the other to clear the floor. Right now they are not forcing offensively. Wesleyan zone to shift. They're getting one pass, and the ball is tending to get stuck on a side. You hear assistant coach Scott Waldron reiterating it again, sling the basketball so they can get some movement and try to force the hand of Wesleyan's defense.
Watch the skip. If it's skip.
Pointer will bring it up.
Look for the skip. Go ahead. Go
We're
ahead,
just
shot.
at the halfway point here for the first quarter. They get it back to Pointer. Skip pass over. Nearly stolen, but there's going to be some contact and a subsequent foul on the play. It'll go against register.
Well, you see again what I was referring to with Holy Innocent zone offense there. They want to make the ball move in a relatively quick fashion, but they haven't been able to get that to happen just yet against this Wesleyan zone. They want to get a good look, and this is a great team to see zone against. You know, Wesleyan does a great job of playing it. They've got some length even without a Combs, as you see Armstrong there on the interior.
You know, both of these coaches and most programs around the state at this time really gearing their eyes and their sights on that state tournament. So a matchup like this definitely helps.
No question. When you look at the region tournament next weekend for most, you see McDonald with another 3 there. The regional tournament and then rolls right into state, and then March 7th will be the state finals here. Coach Tony Watkins has done a great job with his Holy Innocents group, getting them prepared, getting them to this point, played a tough non-conference schedule, getting them ready, for region play now, and then one more opportunity here against the great Wesleyan team to sharpen the iron for the regional tournament.
Shooting the floater like she invented it there is Kayla Pointer, making it 8-12.
That's a big shot. McDonald again. And they're going to need McDonald to play big. If they want to stay in this one, McDonald can give them the offensive firepower that they need. And then obviously an Armstrong bucket, a Booker bucket, they can do some different things. And then number 4, who's going to inbound the basketball here, Lauren Firking, has actually signed. She is going to play volleyball at Georgia Tech next year. Her sister, Katie, is on the roster at Auburn playing basketball on scholarship there.
That Firking name, definitely a name we're familiar with. I can remember the PSB Holiday Invitational the last time we were here at
Courtside. Gym, yes, sir.
In the same gym. Remember Firking doing what she did there for that Wesleyan program.
Yeah, she did. She had a real coming out party in that particular setting, was coming back, off injury. It had been about a year, so she had had time to recover and actually vaulted herself into the Elite 100, finished at number 96 in the country. Another Firking, their brother Andrew actually is a quarterback at Baylor. So a lot going on there in the bloodlines for the Firking family.
Pedigree definitely there. McDonald tries to drop it off. Wolves will set it back up top. Pointer guarding the ball. Booker has it.
Well, this is the type of pace and possession you love if you're Jan Azar. Whether you're able to get a basket out of this or not, withstanding the fact that you can hold the ball here for about 40 seconds of good movement, not just a stall game, and you end up getting a McDonald 3 out of all of that.
McDonald has proven productive from the three-point line since that timeout to kind of stop the Lady Bears' run early on in the first quarter. Pointer going to try 3 of her own. Ice cream.
Well, that's big. That's one of the things that I've said. It reminds me of Taya Cooper at this age. Taya Cooper being the number 3 prospect overall and number 1 point guard in the country in 2015. If Pointer can develop that jump shot consistently to force defenses to have to guard her, she now takes her game to an entirely different level than she is right now.
Save attempt. Bears able to keep it in bounds. Nearly stolen there by the Wolves. Unable to hold on to it was Danielle Summers, so it'll stay with Holy Innocents.
Well, and I love the effort there when you look at Holy Innocents and what they're getting, but then Wesleyan on the other side. These teams are playing as if this is a playoff game. Senior night for Holy Innocents, and if you're Wesleyan, once again a program that has 10 state titles, I believe it's in the last 12 years, you never want to lose, period. You don't want to lose in a regular season, in an exhibition, tiddlywinks or anything, so you're coming in here really ready to go.
1 minute, 20 seconds and counting left to play here in the first quarter. Long gets it back up top to Pointer.
Good. They got the ball reversal there. Didn't get what they wanted in the high post, but you see them trying to screen the top of the zone here, and you can only get that. Oh, my goodness, look at that. But you can only get that screen, Marcus, after you reverse the basketball.
Missing the first shot, fighting hard on the offensive glass. There were the Bears, but the Wolves able to come away with it. Rebound in traffic there by Tompkins.
Well, and you look at Tompkins, her older brother actually is Howard Tompkins, who played at Wesleyan for a time, also played at Oak Hill, went on to Georgia, and has played in the NBA as well. So we talk about a lot of different bloodlines in this game. The Armstrong, Natalie Armstrong, she came in for her sister Ann Marie is one of the best players, if not the most prolific player in Wesleyan girls basketball history. Played at Georgia and now is playing overseas as well, too.
Wolves with the ball. Trying to get it into Tompkins, all over it. are the Bears. Here's Hubbard.
One shot. Here we go. 3 high.
Gets it over to Blanding. More than likely see Holy Innocents hold for the last shot here.
I'm sure that's what Tony Watkins would like to see. Now, whether that happens or not remains to be seen in the next 19 seconds. But that was the play call from the sideline.
All right, here we go. Attack. Attack. Set straight,
We're approaching the
Joey. Set
final
straight.
seconds here of the first quarter.
4.
Holy Innocents with a 4-point advantage, trying to add to it. 3 ball on the way. Count it.
We talked about Hubbard early in the half, her productivity. And it doesn't matter the stage. I think, like I said, that's been the thing that's been the most impressive to me, is that it hasn't mattered where she's been. She's found a way to be productive. And that play, that sequence is a perfect example.
As that sends us to our first break, we look at our crossover instant replay there from the first quarter.
Kayla Pointer bombs away, knocked down 3, add to the game. Number 13 prospect in the country.
Welcome back here to Holy Innocents. We bring you more of this SUVtv Tuesday night showcase presented by Peach State Basketball. It is a 7-point advantage for Holy Innocents after that buzzer beater 3-pointer by Hubbard to end the first quarter. Marcus Burnett joined by Brandon Clay.
Well, that's a tough shot. If you're Wesleyan, you have played the quarter about as well as you could play. You're down 4 on the road into the first to a Holy Innocents team that on any given day could be the best girls team inside the state of Georgia. And then, you give up a 3. I mean, that's a 20-foot jumper from an inferior 4 player. If you're JNA's you take it, right? But now all of a sudden it changed the pace and the dynamic of this game. Holy Innocents went into the quarter break on a high, and they've come back out with great pace here early.
Case in point, that coast-to-coast take by Blanding. But coming right back on the other end here is Furking, who's going to earn a trip to the charity stripe.
That's a great move there by Furking, and they're going to have to see her really assert herself here in the next 8 minutes of gameplay. She's got to get involved. They've got to get some points from some other sources outside of McDonald, who hit those 3 threes in the first quarter. Armstrong, Furking, Booker, somebody's got to step to the plate and assert themselves as number 2 right now.
You talked to both coaches before the game, and Coach Azar talked about one of their keys being obviously containing Pointer. Coach Watkins talked about on his side being able to make sure McDonald was contained. Your report card, so to speak, as far as how they've been able to manage those keys at this early point.
In a lot of ways, I think it's an A for both, right? Like, you force Nikki McDonald to hit 3 threes. Now, you want to make sure you have a hand in her face at all times. And on the other end now, if you're J&A's like, Kayla Pointer made a nice pass in the lane, and she had a tough floater, but she's had to hit a couple threes. So, in both regards, neither kid has been able to get loose, get to the rim with nobody there. They've been tough shots. That's a tough shot there. That's just a good shot. So I think that both teams are doing a good job with the keys. I think Holy Innocents secondary kids have brought a little bit more to the table here early in the game than Wesleyans have, and that's the difference in the game right now.
Yeah, it seems like a great mantra, based on that analysis you just made, is good defense, better offense as far as the way a lot of these points have been scored.
No question. Anytime you're in a high school game and you're forcing people to take 3-pointers, they're not wide open, feet set all day looks. There's some people in the area, and then maybe they're not denial, hand in your face looks either, right? So let's make sure we differentiate that. But they're not layups, They're not. Nikki McDonald is taking 2 shots in a row with a body press to her body. She hit one and missed one. I don't know that you can play her a lot better than that, especially at the high school level where the fouls are called a little bit closer sometimes, And Pointer's making plays right there off the bounce in the air to pass it. Like, both teams have done a good job on those two kids.
Cassell going to try a three-pointer. That one's off the mark. Knox positioning there on the rebound by Furky. The Wolves have it. They trail by 9.
Well, and that's an area of Cassell's game that she's worked on. You know, I think in a lot of ways, you know, reminds me of Davenport from East Hall on the guys' side. Like, you don't mind them taking an occasional three. You don't want her taking 4 or 5 a game, but if she can get it in the trail pocket out of the corner, it's a clean look. That's a shot you can live with, especially as hard as she works for you on both ends of the floor on the glass.
Pointer brings it across.
Wesleyan's done a good job in this 1-1-3 zone here of just protecting the middle right on cue. Tompkins with the block, Tompkins with another block. Tompkins actually missed time Marcus with a knee injury. So in a lot of ways, this is still very much a freshman campaign for her in terms of getting on-floor minutes and experience at the varsity level.
Yeah, Coach Azar touched on the fact that in a lot of instances now feels like they're November as far as really getting some of those pieces back, you know, based off of the injuries that they've had. Second free throw coming shortly. As far as the records of both of these teams, Holy Innocents has yet to lose a game at 23-0 in the loss column, while you've got a Wesleyan team who, despite the injuries, is still at an 18-5 record.
Well, and that's what Jan Azar does. You know, I mean, this is still a very talented team, so let's not act like it's not that. But in spite of, you know, she's going to find a way. You know, her, Demetrius Fraser, who's on the bench with her, Carolyn Whitney's on the bench. Carolyn Whitney used to play for Jan Azar, went on to play at Georgia Southern. So they've got the personnel, both coaching and player-wise, to still come out every single night and compete, regardless of the injury situation.
Yeah, and Coach was adamant on the fact that it was a no-excuse type of approach by the program, you know, from the top down. So
I would have been very surprised if she'd have said anything but that. And she's not going to like that shot attempt right there. They were in the middle of swinging it through a good possession. They want to make sure that they keep swinging it. As you can hear Tony Watkins yelling for his team to do against the zone. You want to make a zone move. You want to make a zone work. You want to find your gaps on flashes and get the ball there and then be able to attack from there.
Tie up, ball's loose, still loose. Able to pick up the pieces there was Miller. Going to be knocked out of bounds, last touch by McDonald, so it'll stay with Holy Innocents.
Well, and you see, we'll touch on her for a second here, Aaliyah Millord. That's a young lady that's been to multiple EBA events as well as played with our club team. Jamarcus Blanding coaches the group. They've been to multiple PeachStateBasketball.com tournaments, so we're very familiar with her, Long, and Blanding in that way. You see her ability, Pointer's ability to hit that floater, man. That's tough work right there. It puts you in the mind of Odyssey Sims from Baylor is playing overseas in the WNBA now. Tony Parker, I mean, she's up there in terms of high school basketball nationwide with the greats.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, who in the state of Georgia in high school basketball is hitting the floater with more proficiency?
Oh, I don't think from a guard perspective, especially in the girls' game, that you're seeing anybody, you know, utilize that particular shot. I've seen Jalen Brown on the boys' side from Wheeler hit it on a couple of occasions, but really Pointer right now is hitting that teardrop as well as anybody. I think Taya Cooper from McEachern is so strong that she's able to get to the rim most of the time, and same thing with Durr. So Pointer has a little bit slighter frame and is using that shot as a nice change of pace.
Nice teardrop off the window there for Register. Meyer Register makes it 16-25.
I've enjoyed watching Register play in that regard. Her ability, as you see the nice split there from McDonald into a foul. You see the split, great play. Register attacking the basket fearlessly. And this is a young lady that the way that Jan runs her program, you're going to watch her continue to grow, improve, and develop her game over the next 3 years here at Wesleyan.
At the free throw line now, Nikki McDonald. Coach Tony Watkins wanted a foul there on the other end.
You know, this game finds a way to even itself out. And usually in games like this, you know, players end up making the final play, you know, and not the referees. But there was a little bit of contact. I'll give him that.
Checking into the game for Holy Innocents, number 1, Kennedy Suttle, the freshman.
High post, Kennedy. Here we go, ball fake.
Well, she's got a good frame size, moves well. You see her getting the call here from Coach Tony Watkins. She's definitely going to be a one, kind of like Register is for Wesleyan, that we keep an eye on here over the next 3 years.
Sydney Long hasn't been able to find her stroke from the outside, but you won't see any qualms with from Coach Tony Watkins when she takes a three.
No question. Well, Long's one of those kids that, in honesty, is at her best when she's got her feet underneath her and has a minute to get set. When she's having to shoot the three off the bounce, it's just a lower percentage shot where some people, Asia Durr is a great example from St. Pius. I watched Asia Durr play the other day. She really likes to shoot it off of the bounce. She likes to score it that way. She almost doesn't want to catch it and shoot it. She wants to have it on the floor, pick it up, and then let it go, where Long shoots it at a higher clip when she's able to just catch it in a rhythm and then let it go.
Long rebound, brought down by the Wolves. Tompkins with it at the free throw line, tries to put it on the floor. She'll be fouled.
When you see an example there of what we're talking about with Tompkins in 2 possessions, one possession goes up, but isn't able to corral and gather the ball. And the second possession catches it, makes a nice turn on the pivot, reads it, didn't like what she had. It wasn't a quick read for her, Marcus, but was patient and attacked the floor. I actually entered the eval into our jump-off plus system this morning on a young lady from Minnesota named Abby Kane in the 2016 class. Watched Abby back in December, and Abby's game reminds me a lot of Tompkins and vice versa, where still feeling their way through the game itself, the speed of the game, but you can see the tools, they're evident.
Second free throw coming shortly. Good looking stroke from the line, and she'll have a seat. Will Tompkins back into the game in her place. Number 44, Natalie Armstrong. Also checking back in, number 12, K-Row Booker.
Anytime you can shoot free throws well from the post position, you give your team an added benefit. If you can shoot 70% from the post position, you really are helping your team out because you're going to get to the line a decent amount just because you're in the mix, especially when things go to the bonus. And right now, Holy Innocents has already committed 8 fouls, so Wesleyan's in the bonus here for the next 2 minutes if they can get back to the line on a foul.
Holy Innocents probing the defense now. Here's Pointer. Wiggles out of trouble along the baseline. Ball last touch by Wesleyan. It'll stay with Holy Innocents. Nice defense there on that possession.
It really wasn't. They've made the ball reversal hard. I mean, we talked about Holy Innocents wanting to reverse the basketball. You know, definitely don't want to make it seem like that's just an easy task, like Wesleyan's just going to let them do that. Great pass there. And that's one, when we talk about Long, Long has got to be ready to shoot that basketball when she catches it there.
She'll get another opportunity.
Well, and once again, those are the shots. You saw where that thing hit, right? It doesn't go in, but it's right where you want it. As you see Booker go with a nice end-to-end take. But those are the shots that Tony Watkins wants for Long, as opposed to the one bounce three-pointer she took a little earlier in the game.
That one just rattled around, just in and out.
When she's got the potential when she gets going to be able to hit 3 in a quarter the way that McDonald did in the first quarter and give Holy Innocents, honestly, some breathing room.
Hey, one shot. One.
Your coach, Tony Watkins, saying one shot from the Holy Innocents sideline.
Well, you're in the midst of about a great 6-minute run here from Wesleyan. You know, Holy Innocents came out to start the quarter and really could have put Wesleyan in a tough space going into the second half, looking at maybe a 12 to 15-point gap. But as it is, if they play it for one shot, this game is going to be at worst still in single digits, and they force the turnover.
Layup drill on the other end is cashed in by Booker. Booker makes it a 4-point game.
Well, the Wesleyan section is going crazy. It sounds like there are 1,000 people in here, man. I love this, though, you know, the way the seating is right here on top of you. Holy Innocents going to play it for one shot again. They were able to do it successfully at the end of the first quarter with a 3 from Hubbard.
Now they get it up top to Long. Long will get it to Pointer. She's got 4 seconds to work with. She kicks it off.
Right
Maybe jumper, just short.
Boy, Pointer has the ability to get to the teeth of the defense almost any time she wants. Selfishly, the way she shoots that teardrop, you almost wanted to go ahead and take that. She gave up what is almost an identical shot, whether it's the teardrop for her or the 10-footer for the teammate. I think you just want to go, Pointer, go ahead and knock that down. You got where we wanted you to get to. Both feet in the lane, that's a score.
And that will send us to halftime. It is a 25-21 ball game in favor of Holy Innocents. I'm Marcus Burnett. He's Brandon Clay. And we'll catch you back here after halftime. You're watching the SUVtv Tuesday Night Showcase presented by Peach State Basketball.
How's everything been, man? Good year? Yeah. Yep. Good, man. That's not bad, man. That's not bad. What position you playing? Okay. Okay. Now you stretching it some? Are you shooting the free throw line extended? What are you playing back to basket? Whatever you get. Okay. Now, when you play JV, will they have you playing the four when you go in to play? Okay. Okay. Same on varsity by and large. How much time are you getting varsity wise, man? Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. How's school? What do you want to do? You have any idea? Okay. That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Okay, what's the connection with up north, man, with the broadcast and stuff? Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Awesome, man. That's work, man. It's fun though. Like a buddy of mine does some of the prep stuff, man, and to see some of the stuff. I mean, there's so much going on, and it's like they got 25 different people at 25 different stations, and it's just overwhelming, man. That's awesome, man. You need it at all. Yeah, yeah. You know, we've been doing this now for a couple of years, man. Just cool way. I mean, I'm gonna be in the gym anyway, watching the game. So now you go back and you hear what we have to say, and you put two and two together, and it's just been a lot of fun. Boys, girls, the whole nine. So it's been good, man. About 2 years ago, man. So we did the boy stuff
And welcome back here to Holy Innocents as we are seconds away from starting the second half. We're watching the SUVtv Tuesday Night Showcase presented by Peach State Basketball. 4-point advantage for Holy Innocents as we get ready to start the second half. Brandon, your thoughts on the first half and the 25-21 score that we're at right now?
Oh, that was fun. I think in a lot of ways, if you're Jan Azar, obviously you're not pleased being down. Let's start there. But I think you are pleased with the fight and the resiliency in your team. Holy Innocents, once again, at 23-0, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the state of Georgia. So when you get down double digits, it would have been easy to roll over and let that thing become an insurmountable 18, 19, 20 points. Whereas now you put yourself right back in the mix of this game, literally 2 stops, 2 scores, and it's a brand new ball game. So I think from the Wesleyan side, that's the takeaway. You want Firking, Armstrong, McDonald, Booker, all those kids just to keep doing their thing, but you've got to have more than just McDonald. Only on this side, you want to execute a little bit better against the zone. You know, period. You need Cindy Long to knock down a couple of shots, Blanding, Hubbard. Somebody's got to stretch the defense here. As you see Wesleyan looking like they're going to a box and one here on the second half on pointer. They're going to take her away with Booker and try to make it hard.
Able to weave through and get the bucket. Hubbard, he's had some timely scoring throughout this game.
Man, she's good, man. Her willingness to do whatever is needed, whether it be the trail 3 to end the first quarter, the nice step through there to finish it, left-handed kid to finish with a strong hand. She just does what you need her to do, which is rare in a kid that is a freshman in high school. It's still her first season.
She puts Holy Innocents up by 6. McDonald, tough fall away shot, just off the mark. Ball should be last touch there by Armstrong. Officials confirmed, so it'll go over to Holy Innocents, pointer to inbound.
Well, when we talked earlier, Marcus, about the type of shots that you wanted Sydney Long taking, I think for McDonald the same thing applies. You want her taking clean, easy looks, or looks where she's attacking to the rim, not fading. That was a fade, which she hadn't done much of tonight. But if you can stay away from those, you want to stay away from those and keep taking the shots that helps you get to this point.
In and out, the home rim's not kind there on that free throw for Blanding. Unable to get the second one to go either. Cassell corrals in the rebound. Hubbard leaves it just short. Working hard for a second attempt, but it's going to be brought out of there by Register.
And for most teams, that's going to be where the decided advantage is for HI, in the fact that they've got Hubbard and Cassell. Maybe you can box one out, but you're going to have a hard time boxing both out. McKeitron ran into that. Kalia Robinson was out with an injury. She would have been the second person. So when you don't have 2, they've got 2. It makes it really tough for you to keep them off of the glass and away from second chance opportunities.
Wesleyan with the ball in the hands of Firking. Elbow. McDonald picks up the dribble. Nice defense being played right now by the Lady Bears. Gonna try to the tray ball. It's been kind to McDonald here in this game, not on that attempt.
Big offensive rebound there by Firkin to keep the possession alive.
Hey, green!
If you don't have a Wesleyan team playing as hard as you've been able to see them play, you know, you mentioned the little things that are Firking, or you know, even on the other side of things that a Hubbard might do. It's been those types of elements that have really helped Wesleyan stay in this game, even if they haven't had as much of a flow on offense.
No question. Well, nice shot there from McDonald, and it goes back to what we were talking about. Those positive shots. She's got her feet set there. Nice little 10-foot chip. Easy shot. Knocks it down, and 27-23 here in favor of Holy Innocents.
Long trying to get going. Nothing like a 4-point play to do so.
We talked about Long and wanting her to shoot when she had the opportunity to get her feet set, and that's a classic example there on the ball reversal, the movement, shot, knock down the foul.
So Long at the free throw line with a chance to get the 4-point play. I was going to say 4-point play the hard way, but is there any easy way to get a 4-point play?
Nah, I don't know that I ever recorded one, man. The cool thing about Long, honestly, is she also is involved with horses. She has a stable in the city and has, you know, multiple horses, likes to ride and do all that stuff. So a well-rounded individual in addition to this basketball thing.
She brings the ball across the timeline, kicks it to Hubbard, Hubbard to Miller.
When you saw Armstrong finishing on the other end there, Marcus, and just to watch her game continue to grow, she's come a long way and is starting to play like the sophomore that she is at this point with the game experience she got last year while Tompkins was out. Logged a lot of minutes and has obviously done so here this year as well, starting for Wesleyan on the interior.
She cuts that baseline off appropriately, but it's going to be last touch by Wesleyan, so it'll stay with the Lady Bears.
What's interesting, when you talk about, you know, Jan, you talk about Tony and just the way that they do things and the way that things get done, you don't expect anything different from them than exactly what you're seeing from their team. Long going to go back to the free throw line.
You can see Coach Azar kind of saying there, making her case to the official that, hey, you know, she's selling some of that contact.
We're getting a much more reserved Jan Azar these days. The Jan Azar that I know and love 10 years ago would have been out 5 feet on the floor. The assistants would have been having to hold her back. Those were during, she had a young lady named Nikki Luckhurst who went on to play at Tulane. Those were during the Nikki Luckhurst days, man. But anytime that you can hit that first one and get the foul call if you're long, now you've earned the respect of the officials. So Jan Azar probably has a complaint there, but Long is just laughing like, well, yo, I just hit one. What do you expect them to do?
25-33 ball game here. Armstrong wants it inside. She's working hard to clear space to get it. Furking has it. Contested two is going to be way short.
Hey, Shy, good job.
The ball right back over to Holy Innocents.
And this is the danger zone right here if you're Wesleyan. You know, down 8, just under 5 to go. You do not want this thing to stretch to 12, 14 going into the end of the quarter. You've got to find a way. And we talked about some other people making some baskets and contributing as they get long. A nice, clean look here. Great play call from the sideline. That's a design zone set from Tony Watkins to get Sydney Long clear through. You see him look at his assistant and say, yeah, that's a heck of a play right there. Great call, and here's Long. We talked about her ability to hit multiple threes in a quarter. She's got 2 plus 3 free throws already.
These two teams played on January 10th, and it was a 10-point win, 59-49 for Holy Innocents. Coach Azar says she felt like her team was outworked and out-hustled during that game. That hasn't been the case here tonight, but we're seeing Holy Innocents threaten to pull away. McDonald says not so fast.
It's a nice shot there, and they're getting her the ball in spots. It's interesting because obviously she's been doing this, you know, the majority of the game, but they're getting her the ball in spots. She's been able to hit it, and we talk about having her feet set and making sure that she's in a place where she can catch and just release the basketball. Same thing for Long on the other end, and you see that it's almost interesting in this quarter, their production in a lot of ways canceling each other out.
First free throw good by Hubbard. Checking in for Wesleyan, number 34, Bailey Edwards. We'll have a substitution for the shooter here shortly. Hubbard has a seat, checking back into the game, number 1, Kennedy Suttle. So one solid freshman checking in for another solid freshman.
Well, they're going to be good around here for a long time. Nothing's going to change here the way things are going. That's for darn sure.
Take there all the way. It's Booker.
Well, Booker's able to play with a pace and a quickness where she's done a great job a couple times now of getting all the way to the lane, being able to finish it at the rim before the defense can get there and cut her off.
It's a single-digit deficit right now. Booker trying to make it from 9 to 7. Can't get the layup to go. That pass broken up there. McDonald gonna spin.
That might be a charge.
Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling.
They get a walk before the charge. Probably a good call there to just keep the peace, man. Get the ball back to Holy Innocents and then roll on with that one.
As you just saw white jerseys being moved out of the way there on that play. You know, you talked about this being a critical stretch. Wesleyan definitely senses that. You're not seeing them panic, but you do see them saying, hey, We got to keep this 7 to 9 point deficit from getting to the mid-teens.
Well, and at some point, too, when you start to talk about getting a double-digit deficit, you have to be able to score your way out of a double-digit deficit. That's hard work. Tough shot, different self. But that's hard work for teams, even at the college or pro level, let alone at the high school level. You want to keep this thing manageable right now. That's not a shot that's gone for Booker so far today. I'm sure Coach Azar would love for them to be able to do a little bit more.
Have a backcourt violation called there against Pointer and the Lady Bears, so it will be Wesleyan's ball there along the sideline. McDonald to inbound.
3 points.
And much to the chagrin there of Coach Tony Watkins and assistant Scott Waltrip, they were not pleased with that one.
Tompkins wants it on the inside.
3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Pointer going to get called for the foul.
Well, and that's a play, though it's just her first foul. That's a play for Pointer where she's got to allow them, I know she got caught there trying to jump to make a play in the passing lane. She's got to let her denial hand make that play for her. If the ball doesn't hit her in her denial hand in stance, then you just play on. There's no need to commit that foul out there 30 feet away from the basket.
3 seconds.
McDonald, tough shot, leaves it just short. Tompkins, reinforcements. She can't get her attempt to go. Now it's in the hands of Blanding. Over to Long. He's caught a little bit of fire here in the second half.
Well, you saw the respect from Edwards on the closeout. Real quick out there, not giving her the kind of space that she's gotten on the last couple.
Ball back over to Wesleyan. Strong take there by Blanding. Protected the ball. Couldn't get the shot to go.
And that's 2 shots now in the lane. One by Blanding, one by Pointer. In terms of those little runner teardrops that haven't dropped for them, that dropped early, and has allowed, honestly, Wesleyan to stay in the game. It looked like Ole Innocence, like you said, was going to catch fire with Long, but they struggled outside of those 2 Hubbard free throws to really make a dent in this thing as the quarters progress.
Way too much air under that pass for some of the athletes you got on this Lady Bear side of things.
Yeah, I wish she could have that one back. That was a Russell Wilson throw last night, or 2 nights ago, man.
Oh, man. I've forgotten about that.
No, I haven't, man. I've watched that play multiple times. And let me say this for the record. I can't tell you that I would have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch for sure. I can't. Seattle had scored at the end of the half on a possession very similar. That young man from New England made a heck of a play. A half second earlier, it's pass interference. A half second later, it's a touchdown for Seattle. He broke on the ball. The only way you could break on the ball and make the play he made. It was a flat, awesome play.
He made a great play. Prime example. We've seen a lot of championship moments be decided by guys that were just always ready, whether it be Ohio State with the third-string quarterback or the guy who they said was working at a Popeyes, I think, a few months ago, and went to making a Super Bowl winning game-saving play.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible. The stories that emerge from sports, you know. It'll be interesting. We talk about the stories and the stories of these, young women out here on the floor and where they'll wind up and where they'll go and some of their predecessors. As you see Pointer with the basketball, that's somebody I expect to be telling her story for a long time.
She has it, kicks it out to Long. Good-looking shot on the way. Money.
Sydney Long is one of those kids that if she gets the dribble pitch like that, and that was very Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki-esque in Dallas, where you get the dribble drive, the pitch back out for the 3. But if Long has her feet set, the opportunity to catch, gather, and let it go, everybody in the gym feels like it's going in. Even if it doesn't, we're all surprised.
Long rebound. It's saved, but right to Long.
Well, and remember now, that's a big shot as it puts them into the double digits that we talked about with 29 seconds left, and Holy Innocents with the ball, a chance to score it again to close the half, or close the quarter out, excuse me.
They're more than likely going to hold for the last shot here. Pointer says, I don't know who told you that. Floater just off the back of the rim. 4 seconds to work with. That shot short. Booker and 1. Booker has not stopped. She's shown a great motor throughout this game.
She really has, and has emerged as kind of the second scoring option that we talked about Wesleyan needing. Obviously, it would be nice to put this free throw down and get this back to a single-digit game.
One bounces around, unable to get that one to go as we go into the quarter break. Fourth quarter is on the way. Sydney Long really couldn't get the stroke going in the first half. She's made up for it in the second as we see a replay of that 4-point play scored earlier in the half.
That's cash money right there. Anytime you can knock that thing down and just stand up real cool and calm. Like, yeah, I've done this before. Help me up.
You know? Appreciate you watching the SUVtv Tuesday Night Showcase presented by Peach State Basketball. We'll be back shortly. And we are ready to get the fourth quarter underway. 31-41. It's a 10-point advantage for Holy Innocents as they try to move to 24 with 24 wins and 0 losses here in this season. Wesleyan trying to improve to 19-5, but facing a formidable opponent and a deficit here as we start the fourth quarter.
Well, Wesleyan's got to find a way to put the ball in the basket. You look at that 31, and that's an average of 10 a quarter. Unfortunately, if they stick to that average, they've already lost the game. You know, that's a great play there.
If Booker has anything to do with it, they're going to find a way to turn the tables. As we see her make another play there, setting up the assist.
On a great finish there by Tompkins. Hubbard right back at you, though, with the step through the foul. Fixes the headband and go to the line for the free throw.
Talk about the state tournament approaching. When you look at either one of these teams, neither are teams that you want to play. You look at Holy Innocents that hasn't lost a game yet and the pieces that they bring to the table, but then you look at a Wesleyan who has a good regular season record, maybe not as good as Holy Innocents, but is a well-coached team that nobody wants to see that time of year.
No question. When there's a reason why, in terms of Holy Innocents, honestly, they put themselves in the discussion to be a top 25 team in the country. The resume that they played, all of those things. They've played everybody that the state can offer by and large and found a way to come out victorious. That said, they've got to find a way to finish this one off here tonight. It's not over just yet, and they've got to make free throws to do that. They can't afford to have those empty possessions like they just had a minute ago.
That was good defense there by Pointer.
Yes.
She was able to force the jump ball. It's going to send it Holy Innocents' way.
Well, the thing that gets lost sometimes with a kid like Pointer and her ability is her ability on the defensive end of the floor, too. Quick hands, good hands, very good anticipatory skills, her ability to find her way into the passing lane. I know we talked about earlier wanting to be in denial. She rebounds it pretty well from the point guard spot. So she brings a lot of different tools to the table, and her recruitment reflects that. And obviously, family member Nikki Caldwell's the head coach at LSU, but some of the nation's premier programs have been into Holy Innocents to see Pointer and are recruiting her.
My first name was Gallagher.
I remember some great SUVtv matchups from Peach State basketball events last spring and summer featuring
Championship Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Championship Sunday. Her and Team Elite Pointer were posted all over that thing there early in the spring, and they actually are going to be with us this year, July 6th and 7th, for the summer kickoff. So it'd be nice to have them back at a certified event as well. Kirk Pointer does a heck of a job. Chad Hubbard, everybody involved with that program do a great job.
Nice catch.
Good.
Gather and finish. Bailey Edwards with the deuce to make it 35-41. And there you look up again, and they're right there.
Well, and they've played well. It's just, we just talked about it been a matter of scoring the basketball. Edward's older sister actually is at Stetson playing basketball right now. Another bloodline there for us. Kivana played at Wesleyan, played in multiple Peach State Basketball.com tournaments and Elite Basketball Academy camps. Oh, everything but the bottom of the net there for Armstrong. That would have been a big one to cut it to 4. Marcus said Wesleyan is getting great looks right now offensively. Holy Innocents not getting the same kind of looks that they got early and then not converting from the free throw line.
Long, she's ready to go. Off the mark on that shot.
Boy, she's got such a quick trigger, and once again, for good reason. Those are quality shots she's taking. Just didn't drop. Look at Pointer go get that one, man.
She smacks that one out of bounds, or it's going out of bounds until Booker saved it. Here's Armstrong working on the inside.
That's a nice, soft right-hand half hook right there. That's exactly what you want. You start talking about post play and the ability to make plays. You want to see post players be able to catch it, one bounce, strong hand, half hook it, and that's exactly what she did.
McDonald trying to really get the momentum on Wesleyan side there with that three-pointer.
Well, this is big now. Holy Innocents will be in the 1-and-1 at least until the double bonus, but the rest of the way now. Got to be able to convert free throws to come away with a win.
It's going to send Cassell to the free throw line. So averaging right around 15 points per game for the Lady Bears.
Good shot.
Peach State basketball mantra, Brandon, any gym is home. You've seen a ton of them. We always like going to the different venues for our showcase games, and the facilities here at Holy Innocents, second to none.
No question. Well, the people, I actually saw the athletic director who helped out with our, holiday invitation years ago, spoke to me by name. It's just a first-class operation that Tony Watkins and his crew have going on here.
Couple things on that play. Good defense, but did you see Booker there ready to take a charge?
From Erica Cassell, right? Yeah, she's really, we talked about in the second half, and this is a great shot of the Wesleyan fans there, but this is a perfect time for Booker to step up and be able to make the play. You're going to see her push the tempo from end to end. Let's go this way. Got you beat. I'm going to put you on my hip. Oh, you're there? Nah, let me step by you with that man of Ginobili Euro. Cash money for 2. Nice play there by Booker.
Back from the timeout, 4 minutes, 51 seconds left to play in this one. It is a 3-point game. The Wesleyan Wolves knocking on the door.
Well, if you're Jan Azar, you couldn't have scripted this fourth quarter any better. It's funny because in a lot of ways, it's a repeat of the second quarter. Holy Innocents gets the big lead, double-digit lead at the end of the first. Oh, great pass there. Fortunately, dribbles it off of Tompkins' foot, but you cut it back, you find a way during the second quarter, you're finding a way here during the fourth. She has to be proud because there are 2 times now that they've been in that danger zone, and both times they found their way back into making this a game.
Back into the game, number 34, Bailey Edwards for Wesleyan. Pass a little too tall, it's a steal. And we're gonna have a traveling violation go against Jamison Cable.
On the sophomore guard, they're not sure whether she should take it up or bit past it. That's a tough spot, especially for, a rotation player there to be able to make a play. It'll be interesting to see. Erica Cassell is on the bench right now for Holy Innocents. How much longer she's on the bench. For Wesleyan, everybody that, came out early in the game with the exception maybe of a Birking is on the floor right now. Big shot by Long.
That was a layup from the moment it left her hand.
Well, you've got to identify where shooters are. I talked earlier about the report card and them doing such a great job with Pointer of knowing where she was. Long now, coming out of the half, has to be on the report card, right? So now you have to know where she is defensively. Good finish there by Tompkins as she caught it high and kept it high. But you've got to know where Long is at all moments, and here comes Cassell back to check in.
Well, your aforementioned question answered quickly there by Coach Watkins. Hubbard trying to do some damage. Give me that, says Tompkins. She knocks it the other way. Here's Booker. She'll get it ahead to register.
Well, this has been a good afternoon for Tompkins. Oh, tough call. Looked like she had her body there, McDonald. But those are exactly, once again, we talked about the report card of knowing where McDonald is and forcing her to do tough things. That's a great example of forcing her to take a tough shot. Foul was called there on you.
McDonald good on the first free throw.
Timeout.
Coach Watkins wants to get a timeout.
He made sure to let everybody know it was great defense there, man. Well, when you get to this point in the game now, you look at Blanding has got 4. So something to take a look at as we take a look at this instant replay brought to you by Crossover. Skip pass, Sydney Long equals 3 ball there for Holy Innocents. But to finish that thought, Marcus, now you're in a situation where every single possession both ways becomes really critical and crucial in terms of getting quality shots, the shots you want. Wesleyan will take McDonald in a heartbeat at the free throw line. Tony Watkins will want to make sure that his playmakers have the ball, whether that be Cassell, Pointer, even Hubbard in the high-low game, and then let Long have opportunities to knock down the open jumper.
Long as, you know, we talked about why she really wasn't hesitant in the first half, while when some of those shots weren't falling. And you mentioned it in a couple broadcasts, Brandon. The biggest litmus test on whether a player should be taking a shot is the body language of that bench when that shot's taken.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. There were multiple times in my short-lived playing career where I was taking shots and the bench was not happy. So I learned real quick what a good shooter is and what a good shooter isn't. But in all seriousness, Sydney Long is just a cool kid. Like, when you have the chance to talk to her off air, not much phases her, not much bothers her. The stage doesn't really bother her. And this is a great example of exactly what we're talking about. A tough first half. Okay, it's fine. Who cares? I might go ride my horse after the game's over anyway. Let me go ahead and knock down these 3 or 4 threes and make sure we win this game.
Long with the ball now. She gets it over to Pointer. Bears being patient here. They get it inside to Cassell.
Well, that's exactly what we talked about. Let your playmakers make plays. Pointer has the ball up top, throws the diagonal there on a rope. We talk about that against zone defense. That's a CoachHemmy.com-ism. The diagonal is almost the thing that's always open against the zone if it's not a spot shooter. So you send the ball across the lane to the other side of the floor there for Cassell. Now she's got to knock these down.
Talked about the value of having a post player that can go down and knock down those free throws. We saw with Tompkins on the Wesleyan side earlier in the game. Here we're seeing it in a very key stretch by Cassell. One sub in for each side for Wesleyan is number 44, Natalie Armstrong, as Tompkins has a seat. For Holy Innocents is number 32, Shy Blanding come in.
Well, I'm really like this substitution. That can Blanding stay out of foul trouble? Or I say out of foul trouble. Can she keep from fouling out as they switch that screen there? Good move by Booker. Nowhere to go, though. Cassell on the interior making a play. Want to definitely send a special shout out to our video coordinator, PeachStateBasketball.com. Also the brother of Holy Innocents coach Tony Watkins, Chris Watkins, who is watching the broadcast right now on his mobile location while he works on feature player evals.
Appreciate it. Our Prospects Nation TV colleague there, always doing a great job.
Hey, he does a great job. Even jumps on the broadcast from time to time during the summer, and we appreciate his help.
Pointer knifing through. Tried to get it to Cassell. McDonald interrupts it.
That's the same play again. It's the second time in the game. I talked about it earlier, I think in the first half to close it down. If she gets both feet in the lane, she's got to attack as a scorer and not as a passer. If she gets to the 8 to 10 foot mark, she's got to be looking to hit that shot. Good move there by Register.
Register with the shiftiness there. Can't get the shot to go. And we still have a 3-point game. Minute 44 and counting. Pointer with it up top for Holy Innocents.
Now, don't forget the action that we saw early in the half. Here it is for Sydney Long. They didn't run her through that time, but they buried her in the corner the same way they buried her there in the opposite corner to get that 3 that she hit early to get going.
Booker misses the first shot. Register gets the bounce. We've got a 1-possession game.
What a great game this has turned into. We talked about Wesleyan's inability to score the basketball. They have 31 coming into the quarter. They've got 46 now. They've scored 14 in the quarter so far. So their highest quarter so far in tonight's game, and they were going to need it to have a chance to win this one. That's exactly what they've done. All the while, they've outscored Holy Innocents 15-6 here in the quarter.
Long, that's a tough shot right there. Not really the one you want to see if you're Coach Tony Watkins.
No, and we talked about what you wanted from Long, her ability to make set shots, open layups. That's a bit of a force there at the minute mark in terms of what she does really well. You just want to play through that possession. You've got multiple playmakers on the floor in Cassell, in Pointer, who at any moment can make the game easier for you to get a shot up. So just staying patient, and this is exactly why you play Wesleyan. This is why you want these games, the Wesleyan game, the McEachern game, if you're Tony Watkins. You want to sharpen your iron, before it's crunch time. You want a couple situations like this where a 23-0 season is on the line, but it's not the end of the world, the end of the season, either way that it goes tonight. Either way, you're going to leave here with more games to play. And same thing for Jane Azar. One of the things she said to me when I was first getting started 13 years ago is, Brandon, we'll play anybody anywhere. We just want to be ready for the state tournament. 10 state titles later, I think she's done a great job with that.
Safe to say that. And this team definitely making some plays by committee as they get back into this one. Here we see the high-low, the feed inside to Tompkins. Tompkins catches it high, keeps it high there on the finish via that crossover instant replay. Tompkins just one of the pieces that is really contributing to make this game as interesting as it's gotten over the past few minutes.
Well, and still so much room for growth in her game and where she can go. Like I said, in a lot of ways, this is a freshman campaign for her minute-wise, even though she's a sophomore. There's no red shirts like in college. If you missed a year, you just missed a year. So, her having the opportunity now to get back and play it. Oh, look at Pointer. I talked about her defensive ability. I talked about it early. Oh, she missed it. But you saw her willingness to make that play there. Got right in the passing lane where she needed to be. Just didn't want to use the left hand there on the break.
And Wesleyan gets it to a streaking McDonald. McDonald can't get her layup to go. And you've got players on the court with their hands on top of their heads saying, how could I miss that shot? And you've got two student/fan sections that are feeling the same roller coaster.
This is
emotions.
awesome, and the way that the game has evolved is almost like a crescendo. And now we're at the peak of the game, and the crowd is excited. The student section for Holy Innocents is on 12 over their hands in the air. They call them spirit fingers, man, hoping Hubbard knocks these down.
Hubbard no good on the first. Substitution in for Wesleyan, number 32. Noni Tompkins checks back in. Natalie Armstrong has a seat. Second free throw is good to go, so we've got a 2-point ball game. Coach Azar is going to get a timeout for Wesleyan.
Well, that's a good timeout. Still a one-possession game if you're Coach Azar, so you're fine. You're playing exactly where you want it to be. You're on the road against a top team, a nationally ranked team at that, and now you have an opportunity to play for a possession. Do you go to a McDonald here? You've got Tompkins. Booker has been great off of the dribble penetration, so you know that you can go there. And this isn't a place either where I think you need a three-pointer right now. I think you could take a two. Maybe you want to try to play for the last shot, maybe you don't. That's a philosophy situation Coach Azar knows her team well enough to know what she wants to do there. 23 seconds is a long time to try to hold it, to try to get a shot at 7. So maybe you're better off trying to make a play pretty quickly right out of your quick hitter set if you can get it.
23.3 left on the clock. A summary for those that might just be joining us. It was a back and forth game, and it's been an instance where we've really seen the Lady Bears threaten to kind of pull away a little bit, and each time that they've threatened to extend it into the teens, Wesleyan has been able to respond, but not with the same proximity that we've seen over the past couple minutes, Brandon.
Agree. Well, and you turn 1 run into 2 runs. In a lot of ways, this is a quarter-long run. Where normally at the 4-minute mark, there should have been some resistance there from Holy Innocents in terms of a quick 6-0 run, 8-2 run back at them. And you see right away the quick take. We talked about that, knowing your team and just knowing what you can expect from them and what you want. Now you're going to get the wide open break, the freshman Subtle. Oh, great play though by Booker now. She's going to have to earn it with 2 at the free throw stripe. We talked about freshmen, whether it be Hubbard, whether it be Subtle. Now they've got to find a way to knock down 2 here.
I'll tell you what, you can go to battle with Booker.
Oh, no question. No question. Play so hard. And they're going to have an opportunity now, regardless of how this ball bounces, whether it's a made shot, whether it's a missed shot, to be able to make a play here with a 1-possession game still here on the line.
Suttle's first free throw is off. Here's the second one. It's off the mark as well.
Oh, look at that.
Brought in by Hubbard.
I said this during the broadcast. With Cassell and Hubbard, you can have 1, but when you have 2, it's almost impossible to contain them both. And look at where it comes out. They had Cassell boxed out with the Armstrong deal. Hubbard slides right around her matchup, goes and gets it, and now she's back at the line with a chance to ice this one.
Good on the free throw.
Huge shot here. Looks like Tony Watkins is going to call a timeout. Yep, he's going to go ahead and call it right now.
Gotta love when you can send a freshman to the free throw line, key free throws, and have them knock them down with the composure that we just saw Hubbard use on that particular play. But it's a 3-point game, 9.7 seconds left, and with the way Wesleyan has fought, you need as large of a cushion as you can get.
Yeah, you need this second one. Point blank, you need this second one, especially with Booker's ability to penetrate. As you see Coach Azar talking to her squad, and obviously Coach Watkins has his huddled up as well. But if you're Jan Azar, I think you're saying, hey, regardless now, I think if it goes in, if the shot goes in, you play differently than if the shot doesn't. If the shot goes in, I'm telling Booker, we want to get from end to end, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and finish it. Let's go ahead and worry about that once we put the basketball in the hoop. If she doesn't make it, now you change your perspective. I think you want to play to go ahead and get a look at a 3 as opposed to trying to make a shot, foul, and get another possession to extend the game if she misses it. But once again, if she makes it, it's a 4-point game. You want to get the ball in Booker's hand or Register's hands as quickly as you can. Let him get to the other end, score it, and then try to foul.
We are back from the timeout. Important free throw on the way for Hubbard.
Big shot.
McDonald.
Oh, big
Subtle
play
all
there.
over it. Pointer to Subtle.
Game over. The young freshman, Kennedy Suttles, with a nice play defensively to close the game out. And first class both ways. You see Jan and Tony there get an opportunity to shake hands. 2 first-class programs that we should see both of them that last week in March, that's for sure.
So that's going to do it. 46-52. Holy Innocents continues that streak. They haven't lost yet. They moved to 24-0 on the season. Brandon, any closing thoughts?
Sydney Long was awesome. I thought Kayla Pointer was great. Wesleyan was good. Nikki McDonald made plays that a kid going to Elon should make. All in all, just a great game. 2 teams that compete, two great groups of players. It was awesome, man. Now it's time for senior night.
We appreciate you joining us here on SUVtv, the Tuesday night showcase presented by Peach State Basketball. I'm Marcus Burnett. He's Brandon Clay. We'll catch you back here next time.
honors in her memory. We love you, Maddie. Thank you. We love you, Maddie. That's a tough transition. But to say that our community has been buoyed by an incredible spirit among the senior